Storm Francis has just blown through, rendering ringing for the last 3 days futile. But anticipation is high, because the men and women volunteers of Stanford Ringing Group know this bears all the hallmarks of something very special. A backup of 3 days' worth of passerine migrants, only now just about to move. And the group have assembled in the evening to pitch tents and sight nets safely furled for what naturalists call a migratory fall. So join me now as I join them in the final instalment of what we're calling the Great Journey South. Rising at 4 a.m, and just as soon as the nets were unfurled, the group's expectations were proven right. Every piece of cover, from scrub to hedgerow, are full of migrant passerines. More non-camping ringers join the group to bolster the ranks, and the group begin the epic task of extraction and ringing, knowing most probably this will be a constant effort for the next 3 hours. The usual suspects abound: red starts, a spotted flycatcher, but the members of the group aren't the only ones to take advantage of this incredible amount of passerines, because wherever they may be, so will be their nemesis. And in the foray, one of them has got itself caught. This bird, more than any, requires heightened concentration and caution. Though no harm will come to it, it is certainly in the business of defending itself. And no bird is more qualified to do that than the sparrowhawk. It is of the utmost importance to secure very quickly the long, talon-tipped, deadly accurate legs. This male sparrowhawk may be young, but all his instincts are perfectly honed. Thankfully, right now, he appears appeased, grasping on to the cotton bag, whilst Theo competently applies its ring. An incredible and privileged encounter with a bird whom, just like the ringers, is taking every advantage of this incredible mass movement south. The group have been working non-stop for over an hour as the sun tips the horizon. This is a well-oiled machine. And with 40 years of experience, the group's founder, Mick Townsend, is constantly assessing the fluidity and efficiency of the group's efforts. Chris Hubbard, birdwatcher and site recorder, is filed into the ranks. One more ringer, Peter, is freed from scribing to get back to the task he was trained for many years to do. For Mick and other members, it's back to the nets for the constant job of extraction. The tally of birds has already passed 200. Blackcaps leading the way. Followed by chiffchaffs. Some bearing plumage coloration which suggests they've come from distant Scandinavian shores. There's also a small flurry of the familiar robin. This has been noted before, and it's thought potentially these are juveniles dispersing. The hirundines are in. Sand martins, old and young. As sets of rings are replenished at an incredible rate. Following the sand martins, the unmistakable, inimitable, deep silky blue of swallows. Again, both adults and youngsters. These, of course, the poster boys of passerine migration. Neat and perfectly formed lesser redpolls have appeared, swept south in the tidal wave of passerines. We expect to see more of these as autumn begins. After 3.5 hours of constant extraction and ringing, the southern migratory fall of the morning of the 27th of August at Stanford Reservoir produced an incredible tally of new birds for the group. These included 216 blackcap, 172 whitethroat, 106 willow warbler, 37 reed warbler, 36 sedge warbler, 19 chiffchaff, 11 lesser whitethroat, 8 redstart, 11 garden warbler, 5 grasshopper warbler, 1 spotted flycatcher, a total of 638 birds in this morning alone. Oh, and one more. Possibly the most curiously enigmatic and cryptic birds in the world today, an ant-eating expert of the woodpecker family. Lost to Britain as a breeding bird back in the 1950s, this is the inimitable Wryneck. The Wryneck, for me, is in possession of the most beautiful plumage of any bird in the world today. Encounters with this bird in Britain are incredibly rare. This Wryneck undoubtedly has flown from Scandinavian shores, possibly using the Shetland Islands as stepping stones. Before funneling with migrants from the mainland and from Ireland through the heart of the UK. It's a wondrous experience for all. On its way now to sub-Saharan Africa, from Senegambia through to Sudan and Ethiopia, where it will join its only other close relative, the African resident red-throated Wryneck. The Stanford Ringing Group, providing immeasurable amounts of data for over 4 decades so that all birds have a chance to exist. For more details on all the work of Stanford Ringing Group, please follow the links below.